Call our Wisconsin Rapids Waterworks and Lighting Commission meeting to order. First thing on the agenda is the special commission meeting held on November 13th, 2019.
I move to approve the minutes and place on file as written.
I'll second that.
John made the motion, Rick second. All in agreement?
Aye.
Regular commission meeting held on November 13th, 2009.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I'll second it.
Okay, Rick made the motion, Scott second.
Yeah.
Okay. All in agreement, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Safety committee meeting.
Is there an action item?
Oh, is there an action item? Oh, yeah, there's an
Really
action
did want to
item.
skip over the action.
I just told him I was not in favor of it, so. Okay, go ahead.
All righty, the commission meeting date in January is an early one, and with the holidays, we thought maybe moving it back to the 15th would be better. But if you want, it's just a warning that will, probably be a lot of people off, so we probably wouldn't be able to get the packet out until Monday before the Wednesday meeting. If we keep it at the 8th, so staff figured if we move it to the 15th, it would provide more time for us to do those things. But if you want to wait, if you don't mind not getting the packet till Monday, we could probably keep it at the 8th, so whatever your pleasure is.
I'll be out of town on the 15th, out of country, so
Oh, yeah. Did hear that.
it doesn't matter. It's still me.
So move it to the 15th,
No.
right? I'm kidding. All right, so that's one for keeping it the 8th, I'd assume the use
It doesn't matter. to me.
doesn't matter to you.
I don't vote, remember?
You do if there's a tie.
But it would help the staff out to push it out to the 15th.
Yeah, but then we'll lose Scott, and I'm not sure about John, so I don't. Let's just keep it the 8th, if everybody's already planning.
Sorry
on it.
about that.
No, that's all right, we'll go ahead and we'll maybe not get the packet out till Monday, but.
Okay, that's fine.
But we'll hand deliver it if that's the case.
All right.
Okay, no action on the action item.
Okay, safety committee report. I have a question.
Sure.
Lockout, tagout. Okay, three guys have, I take it you still, you lock out a box. You put your three locks on because there's three men working. Two of the guys take theirs off, the other guy goes home. What happens?
Other works on, you gotta switch it.
The two guys go and hunt down the other guy? Just kidding.
That's what I was thinking, that's what I do.
Acknowledge me, like, okay, that sounds good. You try to contact that third guy if he's gone home. Try to contact him to make sure. You don't wanna just cut the lock off if you can't find, you wanna try and contact that third person before you do anything.
All right,
If you contact me and say, yeah, I went home, I forgot to take it off, then you can cut it off, or if you can come back in and unlock it, that's more ideal.
all right.
But you have to contact that third person, because it could be that they're looking,
No matter what, you have to find that guy.
you have to find that guy, because he could have it locked that, hey, it's not done, it's not safe, I'm at the hardware store getting a part.
Yep.
And you think, I just left, I'll just cut it off. You have to make sure to contact that third guy and make sure that it's safe before you open it all up.
Okay,
So.
thanks.
I just noticed that you had defensive driving for a discussion. I think that's great, because that's something we often overlook, and it prevents so many accidents. I used to be a driver's ed teacher in
Oh.
the summer, so
Okay.
I'm into that for everybody. so.
Yeah, we had some good discussions about that, I think the safety committee meeting just happened to be on a day that we had some snow coming in.
Yeah.
conditions were nasty, so I'm usually a more offensive driver. So yeah, it's kind of switching gears a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
but Yeah, it's always a good discussion to have, especially around this time of the year.
Yeah.
And how does one drink coffee while snow shoveling?
There's, oh, try.
Might you have to put it down first, or?
Yes.
Oh.
Unless you have one of those helmets with a little coffee, where you- maybe some people are multitasking that way, but.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just more or less, if you're out there shoveling, some people have coffee out there, just kind of sitting out there, making sure you don't drink coffee. Because coffee increases the
Heart
heart
rate,
rate,
yeah.
which you're already doing when you're shoveling anywhere. There's tons of stories of people keeling over from heart attacks while they're shoveling, just because of shoveling. So,
Yeah.
trying to keep the variables down with that too.
Any other comments? If not, line superintendent report.
You have continued July storm restoration. What's the status of that?
Just finished up,
Oh, good.
yeah, the last couple weeks.
And the power outage from last night, I don't know if I understood the cold, I didn't think it was that cold.
Yeah, line snapped due to the cold weather. It'll become, older wire becomes brittle, and that's, we got a plan in place that we're gonna fix that up, so that doesn't happen again.
Okay.
Are you still?
It was pretty cold last night. I thought anyway.
3 below?
What?
I mean, they were talking, you know, teens or 20s or whatever, but I thought it was only like, I only had a low of 3 below.
Really?
You mentioned tree trimming on three-phase circuits, that you guys do that when they have middle of jobs, or is that just another?
Fill-in work right now.
Yeah, it's
The first
fill-in
look
work,
that you're
okay.
just getting caught up, right?
Yeah. And you're still replacing poles that are shredded, I should say? Oh, that's gotta be a fun job. Any other comments? If not, water department report?
No frozen lines yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Questions, comments? No. Okay, customer support. supervisor.
I think it was mentioned before at one of the meetings, but I'm surprised there's so many people looking at the Facebook, 5,325, and Twitter, 4,406. I mean, that's a great way of communicating, so.
It is.
Do we not on our water and light bills pay, there's a nominal amount for people that can't make payments for power bills or water bills?
We collect the required state percentage from every bill that's billed and send it to the state, which ends up at the county to help people defray bills. But it's not a customer choice, it's a state mandate.
Yeah. Well, do we not have customers? I think that most of these customers that are not paying have jobs and are probably choosing not to pay.
Some people choose not to pay.
And
They do it, the county does a pretty good job of screening of who gets it
They
and
do.
whys and hows.
so there is a number of people that participate in that state program.
Yes. And they do have a stringent policy, so anybody who's getting energy assistance, I mean, we know about that.
Okay. Well, good. Any other questions, comments? Uh, Director of Finance report.
Update on the FEMA inspections? I see they're breaking it down to 3 separate categories.
They broke it down
How-
to.
How much additional load is that placed on the staff, or
It's-
isn't that too hard to separate out?
It's a little bit tricky to separate out because when we do the project, I mean, you're putting your time to the project and now we're trying to estimate a percentage to each one, but making sure you still have all the costs of overreaching to make sure we're not missing anything. So a little more work, but definitely worth it at the end, so.
I would think so, at least it still sounds like it's a positive move on our end.
Right, and I believe, you know, like the debris removal project will probably go forward before the other two, just because there's not a lot of verification or
Okay.
assets or things like that that they need to
That
look
should be
at.
helpful then.
So that'll probably go through a different timeline than the other two projects.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Here you have the, part of the 3 parts of the payment, the conductor replacement and asset replacement. You know, like what would be covered in asset?
Primarily poles,
Transformers.
transformers,
Or
meters.
would that- What is conductor replacement? Isn't that
It's
like
just,
poles?
just the wires.
That's just
So
wires.
They broke
Really?
wire out for some reason, so.
Okay, that's interesting. That's why that didn't make sense to me. I mean, they're all assets.
Right, so-
Except for debris removal and on your financial report, you're saying that we're down 62% in September, so when the October bills came in, we were down, through October, we were down 50%.
So we're doing better.
So you made quite a jump, like in 1 month, and that wasn't the month that you used a lot of water or a lot of power either.
No, it was primarily electricity that made the difference, but it was, it made a difference, but the other part of it was too, that was the first month of the water rate case.
Yep.
In effect, so even though we didn't use a lot of water, that revenue, additional revenue did come in, so that helped.
Very good.
Did our preliminary audit go okay?
It went fine, yeah, we had 2 auditors in here last week, looking a little more at processes and procedures, probably a little more than they had in the past, which was fine, and good, and no issues when they left.
Okay, good.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
Any other questions of Jeff?
No.
Okay, Director of, that is Jeff, Director of Finance, Information Systems Administrator. You know, your AMI communication upgrade is like those noontime soap operas. Every time you think you have something, something comes out of the sky and smashes you. Did you ever find a strong enough cell signal or what you can?
I think we did. I got the antenna yesterday, no, day before yesterday. We installed it yesterday, did some testing, moved it to a different place to get a stronger signal. Now we're doing some more testing.
Any other comments? Station manager report.
I was curious with the scholarships, individuals get $1,000 a year for 4 years there, but as long as they meet requirements, what are the requirements? A certain grade point, and what would that be?
I believe it's in a 2.7 or 3.0.
It's 2.75.
2.7 is the GPA
And they have to remain in the same study.
Field.
as a full-time student.
Cause that's part of the decision matrix is what field
Then they
they're in.
fill out our scholarship application, which requires the essay and all that stuff.
I think this last year you had quite a few, which is great.
Yeah, we did have a lot. Which is good, we're getting, seems like we're getting a few more each year. And good candidates too.
Yeah. Yep.
Last year was, oh,
Yeah.
pretty sharp girl. And at 37.
I was also impressed with, they gave away LED light bulbs at your open house, and it's amazing when you really think about the cost savings for energy. It's $275,123. I mean, you wouldn't think that when you just give away the light bulbs, or 19.7 cars off the road for a year.
But it wasn't a giveaway. $10 for your
Oh.
box.
Yeah, but $10 versus it costs
Yeah.
70, right?
Yeah,
It was a good deal, yeah.
Yeah, right.
So I think Sean's already got them lined up for
Next
the
year.
open house next year.
Yeah.
yeah. The other thing with that too is there was a variety of bulb choices.
Right.
So it's like, I got the, I don't know what they call it, the vanity bulbs, the round bulbs, which are hard to find.
Yeah, it was, well, I think the whole open house was a good success
Yeah.
this year, but this was something that was added that a lot of people took advantage of.
Food was excellent, as always.
Yeah. Teddy does a good
The
job.
broad
Sean.
sauce.
And Sean's down at a Focus on Energy meeting today in Madison, so that's why he's not here.
All right, Director of Engineering report. It sounds like you have a slab poured for this substation, and do you have equipment on the slab?
So we actually have 3 slabs poured at present. We've got the 115 kV switch, 115 kV breaker, and the future substation building. We still have to pour the slab for the transformer, and we still have to put in the trenching system that goes between all the equipment, and all of the conduit that goes between all the equipment.
So that's probably spring work when you,
We're looking at that right now, where we got multiple people bidding it, and we gotta make that determination, because the transformer is scheduled for the 4th of February delivery, and the building is scheduled for the end of January delivery, so the slab for the building is here, so we can set the building when it comes. It's a modular building, comes in 2 pieces, they'll put it together. The transformer, if we don't pour the slab, we have to put some cribbing up and temporarily offload it onto that. So we're kicking it around, what's the best option for us, and what would be the costs. And I've looked into if we could store the transformer by Waukesha for a couple months and then pour the slab in the spring, or is the cost to pour the slab during the winter an option, which I think it is. That's kind of where we're leaning, but that's what I'm going over right now.
is this area fenced?
It is fenced, and it expanded the existing footprint of the substation, which is an ATC substation. So the new portion of fence is their new standard, which is a NERC standard, which is a lot harder to penetrate. So instead of a normal chain link, it's much stronger. You're not gonna cut through this. But unfortunately, the added expanded area has the new fence, the old part has the old fence. So they didn't, make it around the entire perimeter, which would have been, I think, a good thing to do. So, yep.
I just wondering, gee, I hope it's fenced. It sounds like you have a lot of equipment there already.
Yeah, and
Without a building.
I'm excited, once we get into some warmer temperatures in the spring and we have a little more equipment on site, we'll definitely plan a visit out there.
General Manager's report.
We're glad you were able to finally attend that APPA summit.
Yeah, it's been going
On your
several
agenda
years.
for a while.
Yeah.
Okay,
It
good.
was a good one too,
Okay,
for a day and a half and a lot of information.
good.
The presentation on fiber riding the technology wave, is that just the communications portion of it, or does that have some other?
Well, those were different topics. Somebody did a presentation, there are several larger municipal utilities that provide fiber to their customers and compete against cable companies.
Oh, okay.
What have you, and it was more along those lines.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, and we also, it seems you talk a lot about electric vehicles. Is APPA trying to come up with a universal plan for utilities to, because it seems like 2021 is gonna be a bigger push for
I think
electric
their
vehicles.
membership is so diverse that I think they'll provide recommendations of how to handle it and how to gear up when there's a need in your specific area, but I can't see them taking a stance nationally on doing it. Now, the state Public Service Commission is studying electric vehicles right now and what potentially the state might try to promote to utilities. That investigation just opened last month.
I
So
see.
we had the MUW submitted comments on behalf of the munis on that docket. So now it's in the commission's hands, and I think they'll probably have a couple hearings with utilities to get further input before they make any decisions.
The engineering department at APPA just submitted a document that members could download and read through. It's like a 30-page document that I could get you if you wanted to look it over.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Not that I'll buy an electric
I've
vehicle,
seen
but I
those.
know there's just a lot of talk, and, you know, there's another company in Ohio is gonna build electric pickup trucks.
Well, the battery plant, the new battery
A
plant.
battery plant, yeah. And then there's also a company that's taking over another plant that's gonna actually build a truck. So,
Batteries are both for the electric vehicles and battery storage now, which is starting to take off as far as equipment goes.
you know.
Do you hear any feedback or anything about, you know, with everything that's going on with PG&E out in California? You know, is there any talk about, what do they call it, the microgrids or whatever happening out there?
No, I mean, there's been talk about breaking up PG&E and
Right.
making it either into municipals or co-ops, and that's still being discussed. I did see that they did reach a settlement for a portion of the fire damage, but not the bulk of it. So we'll just have to stay tuned and see where that goes. I know there's a lot of towns that have already sent, like San Francisco, San Jose, and several others have already sent letters both to PG&E and the California Public Utility Commission saying they want to go it on their own. You know, they'll include us in their new plan when they come out of bankruptcy. So we'll have to see where that goes. There was a speaker actually at the Public Power Forward Summit from Northern California Power Authority, and they're the ones that do the power supply for most of the municipals in Northern California. And his feeling was he doesn't think they're gonna come out of bankruptcy and they're gonna do something different. Now, that was just his his viewpoint on it, but there's been so much water under the bridge and so much damage that they don't think PG&E can ever
Survive.
or get the credibility they need
Yeah.
to survive.
There's
So we'll see.
a lot of R&D going into that, and S&C, which is a large manufacturer based out of Chicago, they have a complete showroom where they've got a mini city and all their equipment in the showroom, and, you know, so it's full-size equipment on a miniature city, but they have the batteries and they have the switching and how they can segregate a portion of the city and put it on battery power, you know, because they're on a microgrid. It's
Yeah.
very interesting.
Any other comments, questions? If not, review of accounts payable.
I see our contribution to the aquatic center came through.
It did.
They finally asked for it.
That's the entire amount, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, since we were a year behind.
On behalf of the city, actually, the residents in the region, not just the city. Thank you. I mean, it's gonna be fantastic for everyone to take part, from seniors to young, to children and so forth, so I think it's a great contribution, and thanks. I have some, just not questions, but curiosity. Davies Trimming, what determines what areas they trim? I mean, every 2 weeks we're paying them a significant amount.
Josh
How's that
and
determined?
Todd direct their efforts to wherever they think we need trimming, correct?
And 3-phase right now is priority over single phase. As they catch up, then we'll start hitting more single phase areas too.
And this is just for my education, where it says traffic and parking control, that's a significant amount. What is electric inventory, what is that?
That's all the parts for the stop and go lights
That's
in
what I
town,
thought.
so we build a city for that
Yes.
inventory.
So how that works, Scott, is our meter department does all the maintenance and our line department as well for the city. But we keep all the spare parts here, obviously, so we're purchasing the parts and then later billing the city for that time and material.
You have, on the second page at Vanner, electric filter plant assistance, what was that?
So I don't know if you remember us talking about the motor control center and the filter plant. We replaced half of that control center about 2 months ago. That's one of Tyler's projects. And then we intend to do the other half of the plant next year. It was in the approved 2020 budget. So our 2 meter techs did the work, but we also had 2 Vanner people in to assist. So we had 4 people in doing the project so that we could, because you had to take half of the plant down in order to replace that equipment. So we wanted to do it in as small a window as possible, because obviously you're only making half the water that you can make at the time. So we had to pick a time of year when demand was down for water and then shorten the window as small as possible. And the project was a real success. I'm sure Tyler would be real happy to show you around up there, show you what we did.
Those are any questions I have.
They're good ones.
Yeah.
Any other questions, comments? No? All right. Somebody like to make a motion to adjourn? So moved. Okay,
I'll second.
Rick made the motion, Scott second, all in agreement?
Aye.
Thank you.